Hey, what's going on guys, G1Xron here, and today I thought we'd take a look at Slash from the Nick Turtles line. And this is one of those new Season 2 characters where it came out along with Neutralizer and Razar and Dojo Splinter and so on. But I wanted to do this one first, just because Slash was always one of my kind of favorite bad guy characters. I love the fact that you have an evil turtle. I like Tonka too, but Slash was, there from the vintage cartoon, so really dig the character, always liked him, and I thought he was funny and powerful, and he was always chasing around for his binky, and he'd pretty much do anything for it. I don't know if they called it that in his new show, but it was basically his little palm tree. But he's a pretty cool little figure here. Now, unfortunately, we would have got one that was done up a little bit better, but as you know, that they start looking at these things, okay, this is what we want it to look like, and after they say, well, we got to cut down the cost a little bit, you can start, picking things away from it. So here's real quick what he looks like. I'm going to bring in the box to where we can get a really nice look at him there. I don't know how well it's showing up. You can see that he had some yellow toes at the end. The fingernails were yellow. I think a little bit more black on the bandages going throughout his hands there. You can also see some yellow here on the arms and the yellow up here on those little spikes. We can't really tell what was going to be added to the back, but kind of gives you an idea there. Now you look at him here, he does have a little bit of yellow on some of the spikes, but it's only right here, or maybe that's kind of a green, bright green. I think on the back it's bright green, so either yellow or bright green, whatever you want to call it. But then you have some spikes here that they didn't color. I don't know how much more it would have cost just to fill that in. Maybe that's something that I'll do on my own. Here on the inside of the hands, you don't have any of the black paint, which doesn't really bother me just because of the fact that you're not really going to see it anyway, just because it's such a dark looking figure. And also, whenever you put his weapon in his hand, then you don't. If it was painted black, then over time it would probably start to wear that out. Or if he had two weapons, unfortunately, he only has the one that you see here. Then here at the top, I'm going to go ahead and point this out just because it's the most awkward thing with him. Come on, focus there, buddy. You can see some spikes here, which these little bitty ones right here, they should be painted, this yellow, or I'm just going to call it yellow from here on out. But, that color. So something, again, that I could probably do on my own. But then there's this weird looking one right here, if you can kind of see that that's supposed to be a spike, I guess. You can see the rest of them aren't like that, but then you got this one that it looks like a peg, and it's just very strange looking. You know what? Even if you paint that, it's it's just really weird. Like I don't even know how to explain it. I'll probably end up, sanding that off or sanding it down some to make it look a little bit better. But as far as the paint on him goes, it's not too bad. You can see that here on the sides where you get the pink and the black little, I'm just going to call them bandanas, or the little wraps here. You can see some more spikes throughout here in the arm. That it really breaks up the green instead of him just being all this one solid color. So I do like that. Here on the back, get this focused again. I'm just going to call it yellow, but it's kind of a yellowish green neon. Hopefully the camera's picking up that really well for you. I think it is. And you can see the toes that they just stayed with the, I'm going to say brown. It's kind of, I don't know if I'm colorblind. Maybe I'm just discovering this now, but it's kind of a blackish brown. It's not quite black, but it's a very, very deep dark brown. And you can see that he's got some nice bandages. So there's some nice mold detail in there. The same here with the wrist. There's some more spikes as well. This shell is just a hard plastic. These are actually hard as well, but they're not sharp. I mean, you can press down on them and, you're not going to break the skin or anything, so you don't have to worry about that if you're buying it for a younger kid. One thing worth mentioning, I guess, is he's got this soft part here, so it feels like all throughout his belly that there's just a hole there, which there's no reason to make it completely solid. So I mean, little thing to save cost there. The belt, it looks like it could possibly come off, which that was always a problem with the vintage Slash. His belt always slid down, but you can see that this one fits a little bit more secure across the back of his shell. The other thing I wanted to point out before we get into everything else, if I can find that now. His weapon, it's kind of one of those things. It is what it is. It looks fine. It's just got this same molded dark green plastic, and then also that blackish brown plastic there at the end for his mace. But on this hand, it doesn't fit too well. You can see that it just all over the place. So it's not very tight in there. It's much tighter on this one. So this is the hand that I'm going to put it on there. As you can see, yeah, it just took a little bit more, and it's more secure. It's not moving around in his hand, so I kind of prefer that. Plus, the negative with his legs, I guess we can go ahead and segue into articulation. Let me go over the top portion. His head does go back and forth, just kind of like that, just because of the angle it's at. It goes back that way and doesn't have any kind of pivot to it. The arms go back and forth. They rotate. You also have a bend at the elbow. It also rotates there as well. Nothing in the wrist, nothing in the waist. The legs can go, forward, back like this, or like so. The other one exactly the same. But you see kind of the way that the legs are designed, to where this foot's kind of stepping forward and the left leg is kind of stepping back. So if you only have a couple of options here with a pose, like I kind of do them sideways, like he's holding his mace, something like that. I think that looks cool. I'm not disappointed in that. But if you wanted to, I don't know, do it this foot out, you kind of get what I'm saying, then it's going to be totally off balance. So you can go straight forward like he's running at you if you wanted to, but you really only have those two poses. Let's go ahead and get into the size comparisons. First off, there he is with the only movie toy that I decided to buy, just because he's going to be my Super Shredder, because I don't have one. But, quite a much taller figure than the Nick line. Let's go ahead and bring him in here with his buddy Raphael, and we'll go ahead and grab the vintage one too. Now, here's the thing: is Slash is supposed to be much taller, and as you can see, that he's about just head to head with Raph here. Let's bring in a character here that is, one of the taller ones. He's definitely not the tallest. I think Snakeweed is, but there you can see him with Casey Jones, and this is definitely not what we see in the anime or the cartoon. That Slash is a much larger figure, so that's something that I wish they would have done. One last comparison will be done, guys. Since he is a little bit wider, I figured why not grab the other really wide and kind of heavy hitter for the bad guys here, and you have Dog Pound. So still, compared to this guy, I mean, he's still quite small, even though he's pretty much paired up with Razar. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will have more Nick Turtle videos probably next week. I think I've got Neutralizer, Dojo, Splinter, and Razar. So thanks a lot for watching. I will talk to you guys later, and check out the website, cybercastnetwork.com. Peace.